Namah Shivaya. Hello, dear children. Welcome to the final and most sacred episode of this podcast, Goswami Tulsidas, the life of a saint who made his every word, every thought, and every breath a garland for Lord Rama. So far, we have seen how Tulsidas' life was filled with trials, transformation, and total surrender to the divine. His Ramcharitmanas became a guiding light for the masses. His songs, stories, and poems, all of them united people, the kings and the commoners alike, in devotion. But today, let me tell you how he spent his last years and how, even in the face of famine and death, his devotion never faded. So, in his ashram in Asighat in Khasi, Ram Bhakti had become the heartbeat of the city. People no longer greeted each other with namaste or hello. They would lovingly say Ram Ram. Even now, you can see many people wish Ram Ram. That is a very good form of wishing because how many times that we meet people, we'll be saying this Ram Ram. In that way, we are chanting Lord Rama's name. Even now, if you go to Brundavan, you see many people wishing as Radhe Radhe. Even if you look at the rickshaws that are going, they also, if they don't put the bell, if somebody is coming on their way on the roads, they say Radhe Radhe. That is such a good practice. We can also follow that. And I have seen one person, and their children, when we call on their phone, they answer as Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Every time they answer in this way. It is so beautiful. Try learning some of those things. These are good habits that we can inculcate. It's not a very difficult thing to do. If we do all small things like this, finally it will help us in a great way. So try learning these things. Okay. Now, suddenly a great famine struck in Kasi. It was said to be the work of Kali Mahadevta, and she was angry on Kasi, and food was scarce. Illness and sorrow spread everywhere. Injustice, fear, and immortality crept in. So, in this dark time, the only light was Tulsidas ashram, where prayers still echoed and hope still lived. One day during his pravachan, a noble lady approached him. She knelt before Tulsidas, and as he blessed her for a long and happy married life, she shook her head sadly. He blessed her that she will live happily with her husband. And she was very sad, and she said, my husband passed away just yesterday. His funeral is ready. I have come for your blessings before I join him in Sati Sahagamana, and I'm ending my life with his. Sati Sahagamana is an act where when a husband dies, in the same pyre, the wife also dies along with him. That is called Sati Sahagamana. So she was ready to do that, and she came for his blessings. The crowd suddenly gasped. But Tulsidas, he was very calm and full of divine assurance. He said, do not be afraid. Go home. Your husband is not dead. The words of Rama are always true because from my mouth it came that you and your husband will have a happy married life. Lord Rama has said that words through my mouth. That means your husband is not dead. Though she was surprised, she bowed and she returned home. When she approached the funeral pyre, her flowers fell from her hair onto her husband's feet. Suddenly, a miracle occurred. His toes started twitching. Everybody was in shock. They suddenly untied all the knots that they have done, and to everyone's shock, her husband opened his eyes. He was alive, and the family was rejoiced. The entire town sang Rama's name. Faith in Tulsidas' power and purity reached every heart. But for Tulsidas, that was not a miracle by him. It was just Rama's grace. This is the attitude that we should also have in whatever we do. When we get a good grade in school, we think that that is because of our intelligence, right? No, it is because of God's blessings. Whatever good thing that has happened in our life, that is because God is behind us and He is helping us. Always believe that. And children, do you know how long Tulsidas lived? He lived for 126 years, 126 years. Not in luxury, not in fame, but in devotion and service. That is more important. The length of your life be it 80 years, 20 years, 100 years, whatever it is. The actual life is counted based on how um, efficiently we have utilized it. See, he lived for 126 years. What if a person lived for 100 years and he did nothing but enjoyed happily, and he made others people suffer? He made his family members suffer. What is the point in living that life? The life that Tulsidas lived for 126 years was completely filled with devotion and service. You have heard about his life right from his childhood till now. So it was completely filled with devotion. So he passed away peacefully on a Saturday during the month of Shravana, okay, in the year 1622 at the Assi Ghat in Kasi. So the very city he filled with chanting and love. In the same city he left his last breath. So he merged with Rama, not just in body but in soul. So his final gift to the world, the Ramcharitmanas. It's more than a book, it is a river of wisdom. So what is Ramcharitmanas? It is the purest form of Rama's story, flowing with sweetness, truth, and love. It teaches dharma, kindness, respect, honesty, and many more things. It teaches how to live a meaningful life in this world. Every line of it is like a shining pearl. So, whether you are a scholar or a simple devotee, rich or poor, young or old, Ramcharitmanas speaks to you with the same warmth and the same power. It's not just about Sri Rama's life, it's about how we should live our lives. This is more important. Why do you read Ramayana or Mahabharata or Bhagavatam or for any spiritual book? Why should you read it? Not because you get some kind of punya. No, it's not for that. It is for us to understand how we should lead our life. Bhagavad Gita is being taught in many of the universities across the world, not in India, but in many other countries. Why are they teaching that? Because you learn a lot of things from that. You learn how to live a good life, a life filled with quality. I have seen many people, they study, 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 and study. What do they study? Only their school books. They read from the school and then they go to college, they do their education, come out with good grades, get a good job in the campus, go to the job, and finally, when you are in the job, suddenly you get some small problem, you don't know how to face it. You don't have the mental stamina or the strength. That is because the regular education only teaches you how to get a job and how to earn your living, how to make money. That is the only thing that it teaches. But that itself is not sufficient to lead a happy life. What do you need? You need the support of the scriptures, the spiritual knowledge. If you look at all the teachings in this, you will know that a lot of personality development training is happening in all these subjects, in all these scriptures. You will know how to face life because of the lack of this education in our regular education system. That is the reason people are not happy nowadays. When you get into a job, you don't know how to handle stress, you don't know how to handle your priorities, you don't know the difference between wants and necessities. So you don't know where to spend your money, you don't know how to lead a simple life, you know nothing, you don't know how to respect your elders, nothing is known, and suddenly you are in deep stress and you feel so lonely. So try reading these books. If you get an opportunity, get hold of this Ramcharitmanas in English or Hindi, whatever you know, because it is translated into many languages. You can get in your comfortable language and then read that book. It will teach you how you should live your life. If possible, I'll try to create a new podcast about this Ramcharitmanas. We'll see how God takes us. But till then, you try reading that. See, Tulsidas also gave us, apart from Ramcharitmanas, he gave this Hanuman Chalisa, Kavitavali, Geetavali, and many more gems. And so, children, as we are ending this series, remember, be like Tulsidas, speak the truth, serve the good people, and live in love. And let God's name be on your lips, in your heart, and in all your actions. If you look at old people, generally you see they'll be chanting one name of God or the other when they're sitting, standing. If they are sitting somewhere, if you find an old woman sitting somewhere, suddenly she stands up and she says, Govinda, right? So that is a good practice. Try doing all those things. So This world may change, but the values of Ramayana will never fade. So, that is always useful for our lives. Try reading the Ramayana. So, let us all bow to the feet of Saint Tulsidas, who gave us a treasure beyond words, the gift of Rama Bhakti. Let us all take his blessings. Let us live with love. And let us remember, in every name we chant, in every act of kindness, God is there. Jai Shri Ram.